And you can also encourage that with just a little bit of movement, so if they're staring hard at one hand, move the other one just slightly and be ready to mark when their eyes are here. And the drawback of having the food in both hands is, where do you put the clicker?
Right.
So you need a verbal marker, whether it be yes or yep or something of that nature. Or you can also, if you're talented, you can put a clicker under your foot. the button type, to click with your foot. I have done that, but it does take a little bit of skill. Yeah, coordination. So the video is going to show the teaching of the eye contact game and the very first beginning steps of Floor Zen, which I'll talk about at the end, but I don't have video of the steps of Floor Zen. Hopefully you can hear this. Hopefully it will play. There it goes. He's so darn cute. So I jumped ahead for brevity of video. I deleted the sections the steps in between. I didn't push the dog to 5 seconds real quick. We had been working on Pivot, so when I put the food up, he thought it was Pivot. This is all going to be on my website, and I'll give you a link to it, so you'll have all these steps, you'll have access to all these steps and video. I see you furiously writing.
Yeah, I was like, that's too much.
So that was my boy. He was so much fun to train. He thought he was a cattle dog, so it worked out well. So you saw the beginning steps of Floor Zen, started on the table with the little dog. But basically, you start with your hand over the food on the floor, and when the dog gives you eye contact, you can mark that and let them get the food. And then your hand is hovering over the food and mark eye contact. And then the hand's a little higher and further away. And then you get to where you can have it on the floor with your foot over top of it, and you're standing up, so it's a totally different picture to the dog. And then your foot's beside it and ready to cover it quick. But you just slowly work up to the dog being able to have food on the floor while giving you eye contact. Then you can start moving a little bit. Can they maintain eye contact? So it's kind of a different way of teaching a Leave It. And it's really good for a rally with distractions if you're doing that. The other thing that you can do to increase difficulty and just give your dog a little bit more challenge is, can you drop food and have them maintain eye contact? You don't start that when you're standing up and dropping food. You start by dropping it an inch off the floor, and then 2 inches, and then 3 inches, and can they maintain eye contact as the food is falling? And you just gradually build the height that the food is dropping until you can. My dogs can sit and stare at my face as I drop treats all around them, and they don't break eye contact because I know that it's an eye contact game. So that's just another fun thing you can do. Definitely self-control building. And any questions about that one?
Liz, I have 2 dogs that can do what you're saying, and the one that I'm here for, whenever she gets frustrated or we're not going fast enough or whatever, she starts barking. So when I've tried this Zen, it might work for a little while, but then she starts barking, and then I have to I need to stop her barking.
If that's a cue to you that you've maybe moved a little too far, too fast.
Okay.
And so for her, because she has a low frustration threshold, you have to keep it super easy for her. Okay. And so build the steps very gradually so that she can maintain success. The other thing is, don't always make it longer. So sometimes it's 1 second, sometimes it's 5, when you build up time, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. So ping pong in between, and then you'll be able to build gradually. So you're basically starting here and ping ponging here, and then you're able to do this and get it longer and longer. But it's not always longer, which is frustrating her.
Okay.
And so throw in several of the shorter ones as well to keep her interest.
Good.
And keep her
Thank you.
successful.
Thank you.
Because she may not be realizing that she is successful as you're making it longer. Yeah.
If that is demand barking, would it also be beneficial to wait it out and reward her when she stops, or no?
If you're sure that it's demand barking, then I would end the game.
Okay. Good answer.
It's like, if you're going to be demanding to me and doing these behaviors that I don't like, then we're not going to play that game right now. And we'll wait until you decide that you're going to play quietly. But make sure that it is demand and not frustration.
Perfect.
Yeah, because that's not what you want to do with frustration barking.
Right.
Any other? Okay, let's get into slow treats and fast treats. The goal of both of these games is to get the dog to take treats more gently. The slow treats is going to start with the dog nice and calm. So you can start with them on a mat, on the bed, before bedtime, when they're normally napping, anything like that where they're much more relaxed. And fast treats is going to match their energy and frankly their rudeness, as you'll see. And I so wish I had done that with my Labrador first when I was recording these videos versus last, because I would have used it a lot more often. I just learned about fast treats in researching for this. So I was looking to see if there was anything new on the topic, and I found fast treats. So the longer the dog has been practicing grabbing food, the longer you're going to have to work on the new behaviors to replace the old ones with a new habit. So it helps to know some of the reasons that dogs will grab treats hard. And some of those are food obsessions, lack of self-control, teasing the dog with the food delivery. And that can be either maybe kids are doing that intentionally, or you are doing it out of self-preservation. It's like you want to give the dog the treat, but they're about to bite you, and so you end up in this teasing type thing. It's like, take it, but don't take my fingers. We'll show how to work with that. Treats that come over the dog's head, come from the top down, tend to encourage the jumping up and grabbing. So always try and deliver under the dog's chin, so that they're thinking lower. You can have over-arousal, where they're in lizard brain and they're not thinking and they're just, give me the treats, you know, I'm just too excited. And even when you start getting the dog to take treats slowly when they're not overexcited, they may still revert to grabbing treats when they're overstimulated until they learn to take them gently in that frame of mind, you know, where they learn to work that switch. Fear can cause dogs to take treats fast because they don't want to focus any more on the treat than they have to, because they're worried about what's going to get them. And it can also be because it works for the dog. You know, if the dog gets the food every time they grab your hand, then they're going to keep doing that. They have no reason not to. Knowing why the dog is taking the treats hard can help tailor the games and the responses to the behavior that they're offering. So stress and excitement can then be added gradually, purposefully, to get the dog to learn to take the treats even when they are excited. So for slow treats, you want to start with the dog nice and calm, and as they learn, then you can gradually add more and more excitement. It helps to put the treats between your first finger and your ring and your middle finger, and hold it with your thumb while you're delivering it, so that you can deliver it with an open palm. And it basically it's like feeding a horse. So it's harder to grab a flat surface than the tips of fingers. And it's also not quite as painful when they grab the palm of your hand as when they grab the nail bed. So you want to avoid that. The trick is to keep the speed that the treat is coming to the dog consistent, and that's hard. I'll admit it right now. You'll see in the video as I'm doing it, it's not easy to keep it consistent and to not be confused about whether do I pull away or not.